Okay. Good evening once more. So, Group 4, can take us through Lab 4. So, the team leader for Group 4, please take charge and let us be guided on what you have for us, how it will be presented from the beginning until the end. So I'm handing over the chairmanship to the chairperson for Group 3 who are doing Lab 4. Like we mentioned, Lab 2 we skipped, which is buffer overflow. It's going to be your assignment 1, which should be ready very soon. It's being baked, and yeah. So let's follow that order. So I hand over to the team leader for Group 3.
Okay, good evening, colleagues. Good evening, Prof. So in group 4, can you get me? Just confirm. Okay, great. Okay, in group 4, we are the two of us. My name, Mono Chole, and another colleague of mine, Mr. Ben Sipo Mliganduva. The third member that was supposed to be part of our group, sorry, did not join us. I think he said he wasn't supposed to be part of the class, so we just did the task, the two of us. Yeah. So to begin, I'm going to share the flow of the presentation. Okay, like I said, it's just the two of us, myself, Mono Chole, and Mr. Ben S. Milandova, presenting Group 4 in the School of Engineering, Electrical and Electronics Department. Going back from our previous lectures, I think we discussed about the various stages that we undergo when we are trying to do some hacking. Basically, the first one being reconnaissance and footprinting, scanning and enumeration, gaining access, escalation of privilege, maintaining access, and covering tracks. So the tools in this lab that we used or that we will use include Metasploit tool, Kali Linux, the VM, Metasploit Framework. The aims of our presentation, our lab, is to gain access, understand how the Metasploit Framework work. We use the MSF console for access and Armitage, sorry about that, to gain access. So run the VMs, Kali Linux, and the Metasploit. We run some configurations there for checking the IP addresses in the Metasploitable framework and and the IP address in the Kali Linux. Of course, then we're going to start some databases and those are the commands we're going to use. And then of course, just from the IP addresses, we're going to see that the Metasploit, the Metasploitable 2 and Kali Linux are sitting on the same network. So, Mr. Ben, are you there?
I am here.
Okay. Do you want to run down the presentation from here going down?
Yeah, it's yeah, I can. So good evening, everyone. From here, I think one of the questions, and we'll see this as we do the live demonstrations, is on how or why we are not supposed to put our Metasploitable on the public IP. Rather, it's behind a NAT, which is basically network address translation. So this will be some sort of way in which we put our Metasploitable only on a local network that is not visible outside. And why we do this is basically because we have a lot of scanners around that scan the internet for vulnerable machines, and our Metasploitable being intentionally vulnerable, threat actors can actually start and access our network, and thereby maybe even gain some privileges that they're not supposed to have. So that's why we are having this Metasploitable not exposed to the internet using a public IP. So this is only an IP or an address that is local, that is only running on our local machines. The first part is we're going to use an MSF console. This is basically Metasploitable Framework console, which is more of a command line kind of interface where we do our exploitation. So we use the terminal in our Kali Linux. We type in MFS console. So this should be one word. Excuse the typo here. MSF console, and then we press enter, and then it's going to start up and bring the console prompt. Afterwards, we can type in help so that we check what kind of commands we can use the MFS console. And we can actually, one of the important ones is for us to check whether our console is connected to the database, and we use the DB_status to check that. So even before this, we might also want to make sure that our service is running, our PostgreSQL service is running. So we can use a command that we'll see that as we do the live demonstrations. Then the exploitation itself is basically we need to know what our target is. So we'll have to check what the IP address of the Metasploitable 2 is. That's very important. And then we choose a module. So modules in Metasploitable are basically software, in simple terms, software that we use to exploit. What kind of exploitation are we going to do on this particular machine? So different kinds of modules target different kinds of vulnerabilities. And in this case, we are trying to use the IRC backdoor. So IRC is, I think it must have been an old kind of internet relay chat. So it's sort of like a messaging board that was used back then. I'm not sure if people still use it, but it was mostly a text message only kind of platform where people would actually chat in real time over the internet. So there was a backdoor in this particular framework that was vulnerable, and people could actually use it to access different kinds of machines. So in the console, we choose what kind of module to use. In this case, we use the command use. then exploit, and then we put what kind of module we're using. So in this case, it's in the folder Unix, in this particular subfolder, and then there is this particular script, in short, that we use for it to actually run and do what it is supposed to do. Then we also have to set a host. So our host simply means remote host, which is the target host that we want to access. Then we do that by entering the command set, then our host. So this can also be in lowercase, apparently. It's not very case sensitive. So our host, then you enter the IP address of the MT2 or the Metasploit of the 2. And then when this is set, you can run your exploit. So I think there's one part that we forgot to put. So we need to also set what is called a payload. So payload is simply some sort of way in which we get feedback. It's, for lack of a better term, a kind of code that sits or calls for interaction with the particular machine that you want to interact with or that you're going to exploit. Then after that, we run that exploit by typing in the word exploit. Then you press enter. So what that does is it's going to run your exploit, and then it will probably, if you're lucky, if your machine is not, your target machine is vulnerable, you're going to have a reverse shell or interaction with the particular machine that you were targeting. And in some modules, you can be required to actually designate what host IP you're using. So what's the host IP? So in this case, this would be the IP of the Kali Linux machine that you are using. So when you run that and it gives you access, it will give you a shell that you're going to use to interact with the other target machine, which is the Metasploit 2, and then you can check if you have access to that particular machine by running the command who am I, or checking you by typing uname. Yes. I think we should go to the next slide, Mr. Mono. Yes, then Armitage is basically the other side of the MSF console, except it is a graphical user interface. You do not have to enter manually options, help, use. It's more of a click kind of interface. So you just click and enter what IP addresses and the like. So in Metasploit, in your terminal, you type in Armitage, that is supposing everything is running very well. Your databases are running, you check the status of your database, it's running, you check if everything is up to date. Then you type Armitage, and then there will be a pop-up window, Metasploit pop-up window, that is going to ask what kind of connection you want, what kind of port you're going to use, and the like. So we'll see this when we do the live demonstrations in a second. And then on the GUI, you check for hosts because you want to add a host. When you open this Armitage first time, you have no hosts listed, but then you want to target a particular machine, which is our Metasploit 2. So on the GUI at the top, there will be a set of options. One of them will be hosts. So you click on hosts, there will be an option for you to add hosts. Thereafter, when you click the add hosts, you're going to have an option where you need to put the IP address of the target machine. So in this case, you put the IP address of your Metasploit 2. Then afterwards, you scan the newly added host. So you just simply go to the host that you've added, right click, there'll be an option for scan, and then you can scan. And then afterwards, you select the host and you find attacks. So there'll be different kinds of attacks depending on what the your machine kinds of vulnerabilities it has found during the scan. So it's also important that I mention that in case there are different kinds of ranks of attacks. So there's excellent, there's great, there's good, there's I think poor. It depends on what kind of exploitation you want to do. So the rank, depending on the minimum that you want, you might see an option for attack for that particular for that particular machine you're targeting, or you might not. So the best is to put poor as the minimum kind of attack rank that you want, and then it will show nearly all kinds of attacks that you can do on that particular machine. Okay. Yes. So now we go to the very exciting part, which is the live demonstration. And we'll start with the MSF console, see how it works. Then we'll go to the Armitage, and then we'll also try and do another exploit on, another exploit where we'll also, using that particular exploit, try and make file on MT2 on our Metasploitable tool and see if we can actually locate it and see it on the targeted machine. So from here, I think Mr. Cholwe, you might take over and do the MFS console. Then I'll come in, do the Armitage, and probably the other exploit.
Okay, thank you.
Unless there are questions up to here, but yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, great.
848 should be.
So I've already started my Kali. I'm just here at the first page for entering the password. Yeah, so here I'm just going to enter the password and try to log in. Okay, my Kali is just loading. Okay, then here we come to the terminal. All right. So so here, following the lab, I think the first part, when you get here, you can go straight to the root directory, to the root. Sorry, not the root directory, the root where you get your privileges, the admin privileges. So here you just, you do sudo su. Sudo su, then it asks you for your password, your admin password. So at this time, I've also already started my, I think sorry about that. I've also already started my my Metasploitable tool. Yeah, I think I can just show that screen as well. Yeah, so that's my Metasploitable tool. So in the Metasploitable tool, according to the lab, you use MSF admin as a username, login, and then the same as a password. Then you get to this point. Yeah. So while here, you can check for the password. You can check for the IP address. Because this is the IP address that we are going to target to gain access into this machine. So the command is ifconfig. So from there, the IP address that you'll be looking for is from this Ethernet 0 is this where it says init address, and for me that's my remote address. This is my target IP address on this part. So this is the part that this is the IP address that we will target when we get to this point. So this address, for those who have done or those who will be doing the lab, they need to look for that IP address as the target IP address. So from here, let me just go back to my Kali. There. Oh, I didn't realize that. What's going on? Okay. So I'm in the admin. I'm in the admin mode now. So going with the lab, when you're at this point, of course, for these early commands, which will just tell you that for this installation part, we're not going to run these commands because we have already run them. Yes, these commands we have already run them to. So the Metasploit is already installed. But for those who not have the tools installed, these are the commands that you're going to use when installing them. So if you try to install them and they don't work, you should try to do the updates and upgrades. They may take quite some time, especially the update part. So that's just that's just about that. So the for verification of services, here where it says you can verify that PostgreSQL is running by executing the following commands. this let me just demonstrate that. What am I skipping? Where am I skipping? So from there we can see that Postgre is not running. So to start it, you say, since for me I'm already in the admin, like the root, I think I can just type direct system why is it refusing?
Sorry, Cholo, can you enlarge your terminal so that we can see?
Okay.
Cholo, I think you.
The command is wrong,
No, I think you only misspelled Postgre. You put an A after the R, so it should be an E. No, yeah, it's fine. The one you've just written is okay, but the one at the top, the reason why it didn't start, I think, is because of that.
Oh. Okay, this never happened at any point, so I'm wondering why now. Okay.
The service.
Yes.
Small letter S, I think.
Okay. Right. Okay, I think we seem to have some light there. let us check. Okay, so from here we can see that we have Postgres. We have started the Postgres SQL. You can tell from here it's active. So at this point, we keep going down. So now we need to start the MSF console. We enter MSF console. Okay, it's starting. Metasploit Framework. Okay. So you can see here we're at a point where we can enter commands. So going by the lab, we need to verify that the database is connected. So we're going to use first of going to use the command to show the state of the database, which is db status. So from here we can see that there is a connection. It's saying connected to MSF, and the connection type is Postgre. So going. So then you keep on going down. So here, for like I think like my colleague presented, when we want to see the commands that you can use when you are, there are some database commands. You can type help. Sorry about that. I think I didn't prepare very well. I'm in a cold place. So as demonstrated in the lab that Prof gave us, you see here that these commands that you can use actually when you're in this state will be displayed here. So at this point, yeah, this is what you're going to see. So this part, of course, I was supposed to demonstrate it later according to the lab, but I think I earlier demonstrated it. When you are in the Metasploit, you type ifconfig, and then it will bring you there. If you're following the lab, not what I'm presenting on the screen. If you're following the lab order by order, you're going to see that I did the if config earlier when I went to the Metasploit table. So this the IP address, I already got it, which was 10.0.2.4. So here now, since we are in the Kali, we need to start now entering the commands that we're going to use to gain access to the Metasploitable tool. So at this point, I'm going to type ms use exploit as given in the lab. Use exploit Unix IRC for IRC d_3281_backdoor. So when you enter that, you can see you have gained, we have gotten those privileges. So at this point, we need to set the IP address of the target. So we say set our host, which is a remote host. So you can remember from that the earlier IP address is 10.0.2.4. So you can see there it's set. So here you can see if you type show options, you can see from the screen there, you can see that the remote address has been set, and the remote port is set automatically. So at this point, if you're at this point, I think there's something my colleague mentioned that you need to set the payload. So if you just go straight,
Mr. Shadow,
yes,
I wanted to find out, is the IP for the remote host correct? Is that 2.4 or 24?
oh, sorry. I need to reset it again. Sorry. Thank you. 10.0.2.4. Okay, let's show our options if it's okay. Thank you. I think we have corrected that. Yeah, we're going to struggle. So at this point, if you go straight, since you have set, if you have set the target, if you just type exploit, it's going to give you this prompt that the exploit failed because the payload has not been selected. So if you type show payloads, you're going to see some of the payloads here that you can set. So we're going to set to just check something. Let me just check here. Our payload has been set. So we got show options. So after setting our payload, when you type show options as well back, you're going to see that up there you can see that the remote host has been set. So here you can see here up, when you look up at there, it's saying what's required. So of course these are ones where it says no, you can skip them, but here where it says this is required, and it says yes, meaning these must be satisfied. So when you are here, and then you can see the remote IP had been set, the remote port, but you can see here where it says the local host, because now it's like you're working in reverse now from the payload that we have set. So here you can see that the local host IP is not set. So to set that, you can type set. It's just the same. Just this time it's just localhost, not other host. Just localhost. Oh, so my host IP address My host IP address, I think this I should have demonstrated. My host IP address is 10.0.2.5. I think, yes. This I should have demonstrated at the beginning to show that this is a local host of basically a curly. So here when you say show options again, just to show the status of our
Come in.
So when you type show options, then you can see here on this part that we said the local host IP needs to be
So
set.
your
It has
invoice
been
was how much?
set. So now
Was
if
that
we
email
say
what you forwarded this
exploit,
as attachment?
No, it's because they
yeah, this time it works. So going by the lab, you can see you can see we'll be at that window showing demonstrating that we some exploitation is being done.
This here is your email.
So
You just forwarded this one.
just
Check, this one. There's no attachment. Look. Here's your email. This one. Zero. No attachment. Invoice John.
just a minute and just checking something. So I think when we're at this point, going by the lab, if we type where am I? To demonstrate root uname -I. Oh, sorry. Uname -A. So it will demonstrate up to that part. So this time, of course, if we come out of here, we need to move the second part where we now need to use the VSF TPD. I think this is just one of the different exploits that we're going to use. So to get out of that, of course, you just use Control-C and then you type yes. It asks you to come. If you want to come out, then you just type exit to bring you back to the root or the admin, where you can now just begin again and type MSF console. So this time we've been asked to use exploit. Unix OTP /TPD. I'm just verifying if I've typed the right command. So
which bank account? Mine. No, you can even assign them to go and deposit.
So here it's telling us that that the payload has not been set. So to set the payload, it's actually given there. Just say set payload cmd next /interact
3350 3550.
So anyway, let's check the status. So we just say show options. Let's see our requirements. So we can, from here you can see that
Yes, that one was
we're just going through the same process that we did. So we set the remote IP address, which is 10.0.2.4.
So now it has become 3.5.
So meaning we need the 200.
Show
We need the
options.
200.
So now it has become 3.750.
3750.
Yes.
So 378. 378.
Okay. Let's try to exploit. Let's see what it's going to give us.
So calling kits.
There we are. We are able to
780.
to exploit. So at this point, I think my colleague will pick it. I'll stop sharing the screen. I think we will move to the Armitage part. I'm just trying to check if there's anything that
Just give labs.
I didn't do according to the lab. So to just show that you type who am I, it's giving you that, and as done in the previous commands. I think it's also giving the similar outputs. So I think for this part,
Let me show you.
up to here we'll now proceed to the Armitage part. So I think I'll stop sharing my screen so that my colleague can pick it up.
In the morning, I was creating my GitHub. So I even
Thank you, Cholwe. So go to the next part, which is Armitage. And according to the lab, this is for those that struggle with the commands of MSF console. So Armitage can help us to still do the penetration testing because it's a GUI tool and it still uses the Metasploit framework to make our testing easy. So let me just share my screen.
That's what I was working on. I was creating my, because this project I'm doing supposed to sit on.
I don't know if you can see my screen. Is it visible?
And check my GitHub. You want to check a bunch.
Okay, great.
That's what woke me up
Okay.
in the morning.
So we are assuming everything is, our database is working, we've initialized it and everything is working okay. So the only command that you enter is Armitage here. I don't know if let me see if I can increase font. Yeah, okay, so the only command you're going to enter is Armitage. When you press enter, it will start and bring up a pop-up window with details of what the host IP is, the local IP. So this is your home on that particular machine, the ports that you'll be using, the user MSF. So there's nothing that you really need to change here. All you have to do is just connect.
So that's what I was also working on.
Okay.
Hosting is basically free. So that's what I was. I don't know how the evil spirits.
Okay. Let me just see if I can.
The academic evil spirits linked us in thought.
So
I don't
terminal.
So when you check the times, I get up. Check when you check these ones. Check 0202. That's what I was.
Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 6, 7, 1, 4, 7, 7.
Okay. So it could be maybe my database isn't working at this point. Maybe it's off. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and restart my machine and see if we can still get going. So this will take just a few seconds and then we'll get back to it.
Yeah. This is where I ended on the main posted, but check my other ones. So I was doing this project that
Okay, Mr. Ben,
Yes.
just okay. If you can proceed. I wanted to show something. Okay, just stop
Please
sharing.
do. You can.
Just stop sharing the screen so that at least we save on time.
Okay.
So now this is build.io.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm trying
So I wanted to show colleagues. I wanted to show you this part. I think when demonstrating
So I'm just waiting
to show that the
updates.
Metasploitable 2 and the carry are sitting on the same network. I think I didn't demonstrate this command, which is this command. I think the IP address. So from here, you can see that here the Ethernet's going using this connection, Ethernet 0. So here you can see this part which says init 10.0.5, which shows that and the other IP address was 10.0.2.4. So from here, I think we can just from basic understanding of networks, you can be able to see that the two machines are on the same network. So I think this is the IP address that, if you remember, at that point I was setting the local host where I was using host. I was setting it to this one, so that the attack can be worked in reverse to the host IP address from the remote device. So I think I needed to demonstrate this part, which I'd forgotten. We can only hope that now on this other side, my colleagues and the machine are booting. Yeah, I think this is the part I wanted to demonstrate.
I think this guy didn't look at the entire document.
Thank you. I think yes, we're in. Let's see if we can get this small boy to misbehave. Here we go.
Oh, I think I did, because this was the one too.
Okay.
So
Yes.
there's
So just increase. So yes, let me start my database. So that's the status. It's active. Let's see if we can.
Guidance that we print by Monday, 12 hours, but we haven't received comments. So what are you not submitted?
well, maybe they will remind them.
Okay.
I inquired, they haven't responded. I called. I don't know whether they are busy. Didn't respond.
It's tough. Other people opt not to be educated, just become a riffraff. But it's more costly to be a riffraff.
Now and between Friday and Monday, how do you manage?
Monday, so they send the hard copy.
Yes, hard copy. And it's the
Bound, bind.
Yes.
It's spiral bound.
No, the other
The
one.
book.
Yes, the book.
That one can't be done by Monday. Because if you take
Okay. It has decided to refuse. Okay.
And then yeah, but what was is it 250 per copy? Yeah. No, it should be 250 per copy.
So that's 1,000.
Mhm.
1,000 plus now printing the pages.
Uh-huh. And if they are color pages.
Exactly, that is too big. that is too big. That is too big. Ah.
Anyway, it's investment.
That's
It's investment.
okay.
All right. Sorry.
Okay, let me try and restart it again. I'm very sorry, but let's try and be patient for 1 minute. Things happen. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, it will work. We wonder why things are not working now that we are presenting before class. When you are practicing, things are very sharp.
Last thing. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what happens. Okay. Terminal. Let's do this. Okay. Let's start the service. Okay. Okay, finally we have it. Yeah, so after the first pop-up comes up, we're going to have a second pop-up that tells us or asks us if we want to start a saver, Metasploit saver. So I click yes. Then it has to load the database, it has to load the payloads and scripts and the rest. So it's going to take a bit of, okay, could not access database. So let's see if I can MSFTP initialize that. Okay. I'm not sure why it's failing, but seem to have. Okay, let's see if we can.
Okay.
If not, then I'll go to MSF console and try. Okay, it's okay. Service. Okay. Postgres. That's all. The good part is sometimes it can give you what you need to do. Did I see that? Is it this? Okay, I seem to be having trouble with my thing. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go to probably the last part as I try to figure out what the problem is. But what we are going to do is try and use the MSF console again, a different kind of vulnerability where we will try and gain access to the other machine, the Metasploitable 2, and then try and put a file there. So I'm going to type in MSF console. I hope this works. But yes, one of our tasks in the lab was to make sure that we can make a file on the other machine. And what we're going to use is a different kind of vulnerability that is going to use brute force. So brute forcing is simply using different kinds of passwords on the login for a particular machine or whatever service it is that you want to do. So there is, when I was trying to find, because we're given IRC, the Internet Relay backdoor, and the VS FTPD backdoor, when I was trying to find out what other kinds of vulnerabilities are there that we can use, I came across one called VNC. So VNC is simply a remote kind of service where you can be able to control what is happening on another machine. So, for example, if I was given an IP for a different machine somewhere and I wanted to do something on it, the person gives me that IP and a password. But then this vulnerability uses a word list, which is simply different kinds of passwords to help log in. So it will just put in that password, different kinds of passwords. First password tries, fails, second password until the word list is done. So that is basically brute forcing, and that's what we're going to try and do on our Metasploitable tool. So we use the MSF. One of the commands that we must have seen or after using help command is search command. So we can type in VNC. Let's see if we can get it. Okay, so the search command is going to run through whatever modules are there that we can use. And look, here is our module that we want to use. So it's an authentication scanner. So it basically is going to see what you can do about authentication. And in this case, it's brute forcing. So we can type use 0. So if you look closely at the module, just before the name, the number, we can select a module using these numbers here. So use 0, and then it loads what kind of module you're using. So this is a VNS login kind of module. So when we have this module loaded, we can see what options we have. So we can type in options or info if you want, and it's still going to give you different kinds of, basically the same thing actually. So the module here gives you names of parameters and what the current setting of those parameters are, whether they're required, and what description of that particular parameter for that module is. So here we have different kinds of parameters. I want us to pay attention to our hosts. So the same way Chole was gaining or was putting our hosts, we can also do the same here. We can see that we don't have what remote hosts we're supposed to attack. So if we read the description, the target host, and it's just basically the target host, and it is a required parameter. So we go here and set our hosts. So my Metasploitable, okay. Has the IP address 192.168.122.207. So that's what we're going to put as our host. So 192.168.122.207. Okay, so it has set. So if we were to check again what options we have for this, you now see that our remote host IP address has been added. Okay, then the verbose is simply going to tell us what the output is after it has tried to brute force, or what kind of password has it failed, has it managed, is it successful, and the like. So we can there are different kinds of parameters, and then there's also this very interesting pass file. So if we go to this particular directory, we can be able to find this word list for the VNC password, and it's a TXT file. So this is where this module is going to pull the passwords from this particular file, VNC password. So if you wanted to add more passwords to it, you just go to this particular directory, find the file, and then you add whatever passwords you want, and then it's going to use it for different kinds of, whatever exploit you want. So we can run or exploit. Run. Okay, so our output from the verbose, because verbose was true, so our output is here. It started doing the brute forcing, and then it finally found a password. So it says login successful, and this is the authentication parameter. So when they want the login, the password, this is what the password is. It's simply password. So when it tried, so in short, in the word list, there is one of the passwords is actually password. And when it tried this, it actually managed to log in. So now we'll go to and try to access VNC, or try to access the other machine using VNC. So you type in VNC viewer, then the particular IP address, and then it's going to ask you for the password, because that's authentication thing. So type in password, and then it gives us the shell. So if we were to look for, what is that? Is it? Okay, I needed an emulator, but then I can't see where the emulator is. Okay, terminal emulators. Okay, here we go. So this gives you the shell on the other side. This is on Metasploitable. Unfortunately, I can't make this quite large, but what we have, I'm going to read it out for you, is root 1 at Metasploitable, or root at Metasploitable. So immediately you log in, or immediately you have access to the other machine, you will have root privileges instead of the MSF admin user. You become root. So I will just try and make a file on this site, and I'm going to put it in directory code media. So let me see if I can. Okay, so I'm going to use touch. I'm going to put my name .txt. Okay, so if we were to list what's in that folder, we're going to find there is mulilandwa.txt. So this is in the root user under media. We'll find mulilandwa.txt. So if we were to go back to Metasploitable and try and find our way to this particular, if we find our way to this particular folder, we will be able, or directory will be able to find, we should be able to find that file that I just created. So let's become root MSF admin. Okay, so root. So I will try and navigate to that particular. So we're in media. So if I was to list what kind of things what kind of contents are in this particular directory, you can see that I have this muliland.txt as a file that I created using my Kali Linux. So it simply shows that I was able to gain access to the Metasploitable using that particular exploit, VNC viewer exploit. Yes. I don't know if there are any questions, but this is one other exploit we're able to come up with. Let me see if Armitage can still run.
Okay, Mr. Ben.
Yes.
I'm wondering why things are failing now that you are presenting. So, okay, you try once more. If it doesn't work, I'll get it started so that we can begin. But you resolve it in the background so that you can come and present
Okay.
it. Something is just not running somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Let me try to present it.
Okay. Yeah, please do.
Let me try to present it, but so for the Armitage part, yeah, so this is a GUI version of what we were doing. So here, just type Armitage to get you to this point, and just say connect there. Okay, what has happened? Connect. Okay, this is taking too long to load. So I'm just going to close this. Maybe let me open the terminal again.
I think I have it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. 1 minute. Here we go. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So that initial part, I didn't want to close it again and then.
Yeah. So I think I also realized that I think I started it just recently, so I think I don't know what happens.
Yeah. So there's those two pop-ups that come. The first one is asking you whether you want to start with different kinds of parameters. There's the 127, the IP address of the host. There's what the user is. So all you have to do there is just connect. Then the next one is going to ask you whether you want to start the Metasploit server, and then you accept yes, and then it's going to load the payloads, the exploits, where it's pulling all its scripts from and the like, and the database, connect to the database, and then you're going to have a page come up like this one. So at the top here, we have Armitage, view, hosts, attacks, workspaces, help, and then I already added a host, but here's how you add a host. So you go on hosts, then different kinds, there's a drop-down menu. So you add host, and then here you enter what the IP address is of the host. So in our case, I entered 192.168.122.207, and then you just add, and then it comes and it's going to show up in this space. The next thing you do is you scan. So just right click on particular host, then scan. So it's going to scan. It's basically, it's almost, it should be Nmap, trying to see what ports are open and what kind of, what ports are open, what ports are closed necessarily. That's what it's going to do. Another very important thing to consider is what kind of attack rank you want as minimum. So that was that was something I think I didn't see in the lab, but I think we tried to figure it out with Cholwe. And he's the one who actually told me that I should check what rank it is. So when you go to Armitage here, you set exploit rank. So as you can see, there's excellent, there's great, there's good, there's normal, and there's poor. So this is like the minimum. What is the minimum you want? Is it poor? Is it excellent? Is it great? So we set it to poor, and then when you update it, you go to attacks, and then you find attacks. Okay, so it's simply going to try and check what kind of exploits can work on this particular host machine. And because it's poor, so it's going to basically check everything from poor upwards. So poor, normal, good, excellent, exploits, everything like that. It will have to check for that. So it's going to take a bit of some time, might not be a minute, but it's basically trying to see what exploits might work on this machine. And then we'll try the VS FTPD backdoor, see if we can get in using Armitage instead of the MSF console. So give it a bit of some time. Yes, then we will, once it's done, we are going to see a new kind of menu or options when we click on our host. Right click. Okay, so attack analysis complete. You'll now see attack menu attached to each host in the targets window. Okay, so if we go here and click, now we have, if you noticed before, we didn't have this option, but because we had to find attacks first, now it has listed what kind of attacks might work on this particular machine. So we can go here, FTPD or FTP, and then we can scroll down to FTPD 234 backdoor. So we click there, and then it's going to bring options basically like MFS console, except this is GUI. So it's giving you what options or parameters you have. So the R host is already added, because remember, once you add a host and you click on it, it simply means that's the one you want to attack. And then targets, so you don't change anything. Then we also want a reverse connection so that we can be able to receive feedback and also send whatever it is we want to send to the particular machine. So we launch. Okay, so it does its thing. Okay, so our target machine is fried, as you can see. So we can right click, and then we can see that we also have a new particular, we have a new option under our drop down menu. And right click. So we have shell 1, so we can interact, upload, and then there are past sessions and post modules and the like. What we want to do is to interact. So interact. Okay, so here now we can see this is a shell on Metasploit. So if we were to do uname, hey, it's going to show us that we are actually on the machine, Metasploitable machine. Okay, so we're in the home, so we're in the home directory, and there are different kinds of yeah, different kinds of directories here. So let's see. Okay. Anyway, um, the big part is to know that we are in the exploitable, and we can access files and the like. I don't know if there's anything else. Yeah, but this is how Armitage really works. Basically, go your MFS console and we can choose by clicking and drop down menus what we want to look at. Okay, Mr. Cholo, we can probably now finish up the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ben. Yeah, I think Mr. Ben is a lovely presenter. So I think, Prof, from our end, this is what we are here to present. This is our presentation for the class as far as Lab 4 is concerned. I think from here we hand it over to you.
Yeah, this
Thank you.
fantastic work. So I was clapping throughout. The presentation. Yeah, because it is worth uploading. Okay, so each week the bar is being raised higher and higher. So we hope the next group, which is group 4, is going to do the same. Raise the bar to a level that is inspiring. Yeah, so unless there are questions from the group, otherwise if I decide to add one or two things, I might spoil the dish. Otherwise, this is well done. To group 3. So the only thing I can say is keep up the good work. Thank you. Unless there are other contributions, if there are not, we can adjourn and meet on Thursday next week, same time, where group 4 is going to present lab 5. As usual, I'll send the labs well in advance. I will ensure that a majority of the instructions are working, and any other issues that might be encountered, I'll try by all means to highlight in the lab, so that it gives you relatively not a smooth passage, because it's not cybersecurity testing or forensic investigation or hacking. It's not a smooth activity, no. It's something that has got the potential to actually push you in the far corner. Okay, so Mr. Kelvin, your hand is up.
Thank you so much, Doc. And thank you so much for, I think, for Group 3. That was a very fantastic presentation. He managed to follow through. I think it was very informative. Doc, I think, I don't know if I'm the only one who doesn't know the group. I don't know if there was, maybe I missed the class or a session where you shared the groups and the members.
No, I've been announcing, even last week I had announced about people that didn't have groups. No one came up. So what you can do is, through the class rep, all those that still don't have groups, contact the class representative so that you understand the group. So let me just go to my records quickly. I read through the groups for those that might have missed. So let me just quickly go to my records. Okay. Quickly. So group 1, there was Precious Bwalia, David Siame, Ebelia, Sangwa. Group 2, Rachel Bwalia, Mwapechibwe, Kelly Skavengile. Group 3, supposed to be Cholwe Mono, Ben Sipo, Isaac Kambombe. So we've been told that Isaac Kambombe is joined the wrong class. Okay. So group 4 is C, Longelo, Andrew, Simon Cheche. And then group 5, there is Makumba Kelvin, Omkamba Kelvin, which is yourself, in group 5, Mundia, and then Edmond Soluwe. Then group 6, there is Mshawati D, Philip Chamfia, although I've not seen this guy around. I don't know if he's around. And then there's Evans Mpundu, that is in group 6. Group 7, there's Matibini Sijamba, Joshua Kosa, and then Bigi Mwanangoma. So anyone that is missing.
Yeah, because I saw some other members, they were also students were posting on the group. Maybe Doc, I don't know if you can just share that maybe
No,
with
I've announced how, so those that don't have groups should communicate through the class rep.
Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
so that because no one here seems not to be in the group, then those who are missing, where are they? If they are missing from this list.
Dr. Lukumba,
Yes.
I think Kelvin is confusing your course with a different course where colleagues were asking which groups they belong to.
Okay, so thanks for that correction. So Mr. Kelvin, yeah, so liaise through the class rep. I think your issue is going to be resolved by the class representative.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so let's adjourn to okay, there's a hand from Joshua.
Yes, good evening, Doc. Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to find out, I might have missed this. When are the labs shared before the group presents so that we can prepare in advance?
They are shared through the class rep. So the moment she receives, she also sends to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it before your group presents?
No, they are shared well in advance. Yeah, looking at the size of the lab, we ensure that they are sent well in time.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So it won't be sent a day before on the same day. No.
Okay.
No, it's not. It's not going to be the case. We'll send well in advance.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Any other concerns, issues? Okay, so let's adjourn to Thursday next week, same time. Enjoy your evening. So as usual, I'll be uploading this class on YouTube. I don't know if people had access to the previous class. I shared the link with the class rep. I shared the list with the link with the class rep for lab 3. So for those that might have missed one or two things, so this class is recorded, and because of the size of the videos, I'll be sharing them on my YouTube page. So tomorrow I'll load this class and share a link so that you can refer back to it. Okay, thank you. Let's adjourn to next week, Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Night. Thank you.